Okay, I've been waiting to share this for a while. I wanted the news to come out that Miss Guthrie had passed away before I actually shared anything from the reading. I know a few of you are probably upset with me that I had not shared this until now, but I was in a place where nobody was listening to me anyway. I didn't feel like I was going to give them any kind of help over stuff they didn't already know, but let me tell you what I've known since the beginning and what I know currently that's played out. Nancy Guthrie was hidden in a home within 20 miles of where she was taken. I want to say that it was a trailer or a poorly constructed home. It didn't seem to have good functioning AC, but it wasn't super hot at the time. I have her passing from health issues within a week of being kidnapped, almost within 72 hours. May have been a little after 72 hours, but it was within that week that she was taken. Her body is buried within 30 miles of the home. Okay? They only went 10 or so miles outside of where she died and buried her. When I went in to try to get more details and see what I could see, the only thing I could really see was a trailer, older, might have been made in the 70s, 80s. The outside was like creamish, maybe white, but specifically what I can remember is the door was this pale colored green, and it had been faded from the sun for years, but you could still tell it was kind of like this pale green color. And that was the color of the door, and I could see us like passing by it in a car. Like I could see the trailer, and it was sometime late afternoon, right before sunset. So it could have been any time between like 5 and 7 p.m. The vehicle I have them in, transporting her body to bury it, is a cream or off-white. Maybe it was just dirty and it's white, but it's an older SUV, like an older Tahoe, an older Bronco. It's an older SUV that reminds me of a Bronco, almost like the one that OJ drove, but maybe a little newer than that. But that's the vehicle that they transported the body in. Not necessarily kidnapped her in, but transported the body to bury it. I have 2 white men and 1 person of color. The 1 person of color, I can't tell exactly what their nationality is. It's not a black man. Could be Spanish, could be Indian. It's definitely tan, caramel skinny. He's skinny, he has a mustache. It's 2 white men, 1 slightly younger, 1 maybe middle-aged. I know that one of the people that were involved in the kidnapping worked for a landscaping company that worked in that neighborhood at one time. Don't know how long before the kidnapping he worked there, but he was familiar with the neighborhood. I do have that an outside party hired them to do this, and once everything was orchestrated and they had proved that they had her and they started doing everything, they got ghosted. All communication, the WhatsApp number, everything gone. At this point, they got scared. They didn't know how to handle it. They tried to push through with the original plan. Obviously, Miss Guthrie died, unfortunately, and they freaked out. They had a dead body. The person that hired them's done ghosted. They gone. And now they're kind of up shit's creek trying to figure it out. They were hired, but they were ghosted. From everything I can tell by spirit, 1 person out of the 3 has fled the state, 1 person has fled the country, and 1 person is still within 10 miles or still within 30 miles of that woman's house. I'm going to say the one that's still around is within 30 miles of where the kidnapping happened, and probably really close to where they actually buried her. But there was something Miss Guthrie showed me. There was something specific that she showed me. And she ripped off a piece of her nightgown, muumuu, whatever she was wearing. She ripped off a piece. I could see that. And then she stripped pieces of her hair. And whatever home they had her in, she stuffed pieces of her hair and her shirt or dress or nightgown that she was wearing. She stuffed it in different places in that house while they weren't looking. The mom was smart enough to leave evidence that she didn't think that they would see. I do hope justice is served. I do hope that they find these people. I'm not sure if anything from my reading, my visions, or what I know can help. I knew by the time that I found out about the case and people were asking me about it that she had already died. And I didn't feel comfortable getting on the internet, on TikTok, and telling someone that their mama was gone with no other means of information to help them. But now that it has come out that the kidnappers have given peace, that she is no longer living, no longer requesting money, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the card said, tell you what the vision said. It shows that Miss Guthrie may possibly had a heart attack in her sleep, that there was health issues, she was scared, she was stressed, but she did stay calm for most of it. And as far as I can tell, aside from not having her medicines, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I'm going to be honest, the kidnappers were fairly kind to her. They were actually nice to her. They didn't beat her, they didn't try to hurt her. She was very nice to them back. They fed her. They did keep her isolated, but they kept promising her that they were going to bring her back home. I think one of the men is married, but I don't think that the wife knows anything. But the marriage may be having financial problems. They may be having money issues. I think that Miss Guthrie made sacrifices and put up as much of a fight as she could. I think she was trying to be smart and strategic. I think she believed that they were just going to take her back home. I think she believed that these weren't necessarily horrible human beings, but more to the point, desperate ones between a rock and a hard place that maybe felt like this was the only option. What this tells me is she was actually very kind to them and left a lasting impression, and that 2 out of the 3 are so riddled with guilt, one has become suicidal. Sometimes we put ourselves in our situations as humans, not because we're evil or bad, and then we get ourselves in a pickle we can't get out of, and now we got to deal with it. That's what I think happened here. I think these people were hired. I think they thought this was supposed to go off without a hitch, and everything went fucking sideways. And I think a nice old lady lost her life because of it. But again, just to go over everything, I had Miss Guthrie within 30 miles of the home, buried. I see a trailer with a pale green, faded front door. I see a cream or off-white or dirty SUV, older model, 2 white men, 1 person of color. One of the people that were involved had a landscaping job at one time and was familiar with the neighborhood. They were hired by someone else and ghosted. They got spooked. One's fled the state, one's fled the country, one is still local. And mom hid evidence in where they were keeping her. That's all I have for you.